Hi everybody, it's great to be back here with you again on Itamar in Israel on Friday. This week we're not going to talk about our usual topic of Pirkei Avot. We're going to talk about what happened this week in Israel, the Flotilla incident. It's not surprising. The world again is showing its true colors. The hatred they have towards Israel. This was not a humanitarian mission. Let's face it, let's talk about the facts. Israel allows 15,000 tons of aid every week to enter Gaza. The 10,000 tons on these boats was a show. What do they really want to do? They wanted to provoke a violent incident that would make Israel look terrible in the eyes of the world. What do we want as little Israel? We have the natural right, like anyone else, to defend ourselves. The American Navy would stand such a thing? No Navy in the world would allow such a thing to happen. Of course, only Israel was supposed to allow some of this to happen. Israel has a right again to defend itself. From Gaza, a violent town, a violent place where thousands of missiles have been launched against the Sderot town and other towns in Israel. A place where suicide bombers, a place of terrorism, a place of hatred against the Jewish nation in America. Let's face the facts. Israel just simply wanted to check those boats and then allow the cargo, after docking them in Ashdod, to be brought into Gaza. But that wasn't the real goal here. They wanted to again make us look like a bunch of idiots and make us look like a bunch of tyrants. But Israel reacted, and its response was very mild to something like that. They tried to kill them. We saw pictures of those boats. The soldiers were attacked and assaulted. Two were critically injured for not wanting to hurt those who wanted to hurt them. Israel's always been good and been too good. And instead of saying, Israel, you are righteous, the world out there, the evil forces out there are coming against Israel as usual. But this is all part of the redemption process. This reminds me of the story of King David and Goliath in the Bible, in the book of Samuel. King David, of course, at that time wasn't a king. He was a simple shepherd. And here this huge giant Goliath is coming against him with this wonderful splendor of armor, etc., etc. But what's under that armor is an evil individual who wants to curse the house of Israel and is cursing the house of Israel and David. And David comes along with a slingshot and knocks out this huge giant. And David wasn't able to wear armor because he was again showing that he comes to him what he is. He's not trying to show what he isn't. Anyway, the same exact situation is today. The world isn't wearing this armor of Goliath and showing they're coming in peace or trying to make a show for how wonderful they are. Wonderful humanitarian aid to Gaza. But of course their goal was very clear in mind. And Israel again, just like King David won the battle against Goliath, we win the battle against those who come against us. And it's amazing. God already blessed us. Just yesterday, I'm going to read this right over here off the news. What does it say? Large quantities of natural gas found off Haifa coast. More than 3 trillion cubic feet of natural gas discovered at well off Israel's Mediterranean coast. Guys, this is amazing. In that same area, right where those boats set off between Kafrisin, Cyprus, and Haifa, Israel is blessed with this wonderful, amazing discovery. We're talking about more than 3 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. This will supply Israel for the next century with energy. Let them drink the oil, those who want to, again, with their oil, threaten the world and bribe the world all the time. But God is showing when you're going with Him, and you're standing up for the pride of Israel, for the defense of Israel, you'll be blessed. And right here is an answer, response to that. And I want to reach out to every one of you that love Israel with all your hearts and souls, and that you know the truth, and you can't stand those coming against Israel every day. This is how you will be blessed. If you continue and be strong and brave and faithful to God, He will be faithful with you. And that's the answer to all what's going on today. It's happening in Israel. No, we will not give in to this terror. We will not allow this Islamic terror to take over the world that just wants to destroy us, and of course America, and anyone that stands for freedom and for love. We will defend our land, and we will defend freedom, and we defend democracy, and we will not allow the evil forces to take over the world, because again, those who stand with God and the Torah will again overcome, and they will persevere. It's been great being with you again. Have a great Shabbat, and we will talk next week and continue our lesson. Shabbat Shalom. I miss you all. Bye-bye.